Getting into the night vision game can be really expensive, especially if you saved all your coin up for a really nice PVS-14, or maybe you bought a set of used dual tubes. And then afterwards, you're thinking to yourself, now that I own night vision, how am I supposed to get out and train with them? One way would be passive aiming with your red dot, or we have IR illuminators and IR lasers and vis lasers, which could also be really expensive on top of that. So you're looking at like around $1,000 plus to get yourself a used AT-PAL-C, maybe even $2,000 to get yourself a really nice like full power PEC 15. And that's where this little guy here from Defense Distributors comes into play. This is the Rovy Von GL4 Pro. This is what we're going to be talking about in the video today, and give you my 2 cents on how I think about it from just an end user and a fellow range goer. If you want the ins and outs and the specs and the nerditry, I'm not the guy, but 4MR Ranch has a really excellent video talking about the laser and the performance and everything else with that. So I'll link his video in the description below, and we'll get into it. So like I said before in the intro, this is going to be my overall end user experience of this device. If you don't know, the primary means of using this was for some sort of PDW device like a Flex Raider, or even some sort of like 9mm PCC. I can't name any off the top of my head, but you kind of get the gist. I don't have one of those. I have a rifle and I have a pistol. So I threw it on those platforms to kind of get my my feedback and let you know how this device performed. And just to be transparent, I did not purchase this. This was sent out to me to review and to test and to give my feedback. I am not keeping this. I am gonna send it on to someone else so that way they can also test it and they can get some rounds behind this product. So first things first, I'm just gonna talk about the housing and work its way around and then the more of the performance stuff. Initially, I was really impressed with the quality of this overall laser light. For the fact that it's around $300, $350, depending on the model you get, it really seems like it's got a good quality build. Like, I feel like I could take this and chuck it across the range, pick it up and be good to go. Where my PEC 15, I would have a little bit more concern about chucking it across the range. So take that for what you will. I do think it's a stout little housing. The Defense Distributor Edition has all the markings listed out on the side in the upright model. So that means when you do a top mount for a pick rail, everything is easy to read. Whereas the normal versions from Rovy Von are upside down, so you have to read them in this orientation. One thing you should note when it comes to loading the battery is it is a front loading battery, which for a PDW or pistol makes sense. That means you don't have to take it off to change your battery, and you get to keep the 0 on your laser. And the way we do that is just, it's like not even a half turn clockwise, and boom, comes off just like that. Takes a single CR123. I will say that initially when I put batteries in this and changed them out for a full one, I did not like the interface, just because what I'm struggling with right now is the threads that you see right here go counterclockwise, and what that does is it undoes the little tray area for the light itself. So as you try to take this on and off to put in the battery, what you're doing is you're actually also tightening and loosening the lens for the light itself. And so right now I have it in white light mode. The other thing I noticed is that if you don't have this completely lined up, so I'm just gonna do like a quarter turn, stops working, that's it. I didn't even turn it that much. I turned it like ever so slightly and it knocked the contacts out of position. See, there we go, that's on, now it's off. On, off, on, off. Yeah, so just so that way you can see that. Other things that I really didn't like is the locking and mounting system. As you can see, it's a QD, which up front seems really nice, but what I don't like is that there's no way to change the tolerances in the locking system. There's no screw on the back like you would see on like the QD lever for an EOTech. You just throw it on and what you get is what you get. I noticed on my pistol, it had an incredibly tight fit and was a little bit looser on the rifles. Now, it wasn't loose enough to like affect the 0 of the optic, not the optic, of the laser itself, but it's just something you should know that depending on the rail you're putting it on, it may not fit exact, and there's really no way to change that, so you're kind of stuck with it. If they had a way to adjust this QD lever or even just make it a normal set screw like the Surefire models, I think that would be the better way to go. The other thing I really didn't like are the switches. I don't know if they're programmable. I don't think they are. And what you have is you actually just have an on-off. So you press this, bam, it's on. This, as you can see, the switches are neutral and the light is still on. If you want momentary, you have to hold it. And I'm not a fan of that. So that's your momentary, right? And then you let off and it's good to go. And then that's just a constant on. It took me a little while to get used to it. I would prefer the Switchology to be more like a TLR1 or a Surefire. And the reason that is if you watch this, the switch is supposed to bounce back. It's just stuck on now. Like, it sticks. Oh, there it goes, and it just clicked off. When I got it, it's not supposed to do that. It should just reset itself for the momentary. And I found myself having issues with this switch a lot, especially in the cold. So to mitigate that, they do make a pressure pad, a Surefire pressure pad adapter for this housing, and I didn't get to play with that, but I'm sure I would have liked it a lot better had I had that pressure pad. As you do know, this has the white light model in it, and you get a lot of stuff for this tiny little package. You get the first 4 settings on here are off, then you have your Viz Illuminator, Viz Laser, the combo, and then another off, and then it rolls into your IR settings. The first one being the IR combo of Laser Illuminator, then Laser Illuminator off. What I found that under night vision, this is not very intuitive, but you have to remember that this is a really tiny package, so to speak, and you get some compromises. Like when we look at this, compared to the full-size PEC 15 on a rifle, I mean, the size difference is pretty noticeable. I mean, it's meant to go on a PDW, so there are going to be some compromises. On a rifle, I do like the PEC 15 Switchology a lot better. It makes more sense. It's more intuitive. This was just really hard to mess with. I didn't like the tiny little switch, and I couldn't remember the settings to save a life, so I just kind of had to flip through them and hope I found the right one. Under nods was not my favorite thing to deal with. What I do like though are the turrets. The turrets are knurled. I can't even turn these with my own fingers, but a piece of brass or a screwdriver will turn the turrets just fine. They have really nice textile like clicks to them. Like I really like the dexterity of the turrets. And yeah, that pretty much covers most of my thoughts on the housing. Like I said, it's a small package. It's meant to be on a PDW. There's going to be compromises along with the price. As far as performance goes, this Viz Laser is pretty good. Really awesome Viz Laser. And I took this on and off 1,000 times. I put it on my rifle, put it on my pistol, put it back and forth, and the zero never seemed to change. So this holds zero pretty well, especially for the Viz Laser, and that means your IR laser is going to be good to go. I think for getting out and training, the Viz Laser and the IR Illuminator and IR Laser are enough to get you by, but you are going to grow out of this pretty quickly. The IR Illuminator does not throw very far. They do make some sort of diffuser, I believe, that you can throw on to get a much nicer hotspot out of the IR Illuminator, but that's just what you get when you get the Jack of all trades, master of none. The white light is 400 lumens, which is not bad, especially in an indoor environment. It's enough to get you by, but if you're gonna put it on a rifle, I highly recommend you get another white light to go with it, more contained. The IR Illuminator has a lot of flood to it, but like I said, I think that diffuser could fix that. And then the IR laser is definitely enough to get you by at 50 or even to 100 yards. Overall, would I recommend this to somebody? Yes, I would. If you are just getting into night vision and you need something to get you by for now that you plan to upgrade with later, I think this is really gonna be the best bang for your buck. I don't think there's anything better out there. Me personally, I would just get the Illuminator and IR version. I would not get the white light. I just don't think the white light's good enough. I mean, if you want a secondary to run as like a backup, go for it, but I think I'm just gonna opt for the Illuminators, the IR version, especially for the price. So I will probably go out and buy one after this video is done and I send this one back, because I would never want to recommend something I would not be willing to buy myself and put my own money on. So yeah, that really kind of covers the video. Hopefully you guys got a good amount of information out of it. If you have any questions, let me know. Drop them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. Sorry if we kind of flew through that video. It's a little cold out here if you can't tell, but I really wanted to talk about this product and get the information out there for you guys to watch. So hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all those good things, and thank you for watching.